What a happy and exciting week and day this is going to be, simply because look, India won the World Cup. We are smiling, the whole country is celebrating. Mr. Gulbahar, I know that you have been celebrating as well.
Of course, it is a moment for celebration for all of us. Look at how confident we are. Okay, it's like quite some time. You look at every sphere of life. The India is becoming much and much more and more aspirational. We are becoming more and more confident, and World Cup victory is a classical example of that. In fact, what a week it is! Happy Women's Day to you. It is little belated, but you know the way females are contributing and leading. I think compliments to you.
Absolutely. And you are right here in Tamil Nadu, the state to the largest number of working women. Mr. Gulbahar, let's talk about Versuni. It's amazing. I mean, look at the portfolio, whether it's kitchen appliances to floor care. We have 900 plus patents. You have a global footprint across 100 countries. And now here you are with a new manufacturing facility here in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. So that's Mr. Gul Bahar Taurani, the MD and CEO. Many congratulations
Thank you.
for this new manufacturing facility. Let's talk about the strategic role this manufacturing facility is going to play in terms of long-term growth and expansion for Versuni right here in India.
I think let me just give you a little bit of background of this manufacturing facility. This manufacturing facility we have been evolving and expanding for quite some years. The whole idea was, as a brand and as a company as Versuni and both the brands Philips and Preeti, what we believe in is that how do we bring meaningful innovation to consumer homes? Our purpose is to help people turn houses into homes, and that is where we are committed. So this plant is one of the plants which we have been, working very hard in terms of bringing the motor expertise. If you look at this, this is one of our motor plants. So this motors we produce in this plant. These are the motors which goes to your mixer grinder and makes your mixer grinder reliable and have a very long life, because at the end of the day, for a very, I would say, perfect grinding, you need to have the right motor. So this plant is a plant where we have an expertise on motors, and we took this expertise on motors from mixer grinders to another categories, and that's where we are here today, because we just inaugurated the motor facility for air fryers. As you know, air fryer is one of the grooming categories. It is growing leaps and bounds, and we thought, when we have an expertise on one type of motor, why don't we take that expertise and give it to air fryers also? So that's how, and this is very, very strategic for us, because it is important that you not only localize, the products, but you also localize the components. And you will see during our walk that there are a lot of things that we are doing in this factory in house.
That's really, really great to know. So, are we seeing this healthy India? There's a movement that's happening in our country, and air fryers are just making things more interesting, more tasty, lesser oil. So, obviously, there is a huge demand in our country. Yes?
Absolutely. If you look at both from a consumer point of view, and even our prime minister said that he wants the country to be healthy. The consumers are becoming more and more aware of how to take care of your physical fitness as well as your mental health. Right?
Right.
Both are very, very important. Now, how we can contribute as brands? So what we are trying to do is, we want the consumers to have their favorite food at home,
Right.
and that's how we have appliances which helps you cook at home. And
Yeah.
you are from Tamil Nadu, I am from western part of the country, but we know that there is still a very strong belief that homemade food is the best food for us. So
Absolutely.
that's why we are into kitchen appliances which help you cook at home. At the same time, we innovated with air fryers. Now, what it does is, we have our moments where there is craving for fried food.
Of
Nah?
course.
Now, when there is craving and you want your favorite fried food, it's better that it is with less or with no oil. And so you get your favorite samosa, you get your favorite vada with no oil. Now, that few years back was almost unbelievable. And that's where, we bought air fryers. We have invested for almost 12 to 14 years. We launched air fryer in 2012, and we are here in 2026, where we reached out to the consumers, educated them how it works, took their feedback, incorporated in our portfolio, went to some of the chefs. Chef Ranveer Brar is our brand ambassador.
Right.
He helped us curate recipes and all. So the whole idea is not to give products. The whole idea is to give an ecosystem, that how this product works, what type of recipes, how you can get the best results. And I'm very happy the way today wherever I go, people talk about air fryer. When I was the marketing manager and I introduced air fryer to India, people thought I am mad, because
Right.
at that point of time, a French fry maker for 15,000, that's what people used to call it as,
Yeah.
was unbelievable to sell.
I
But look
know.
at today, because it was not a French fries maker. That's the difference that we have been able to bring to India, because we are closer to the consumers. We try to understand what they exactly want and how can we help them. So yes, this is our little contribution to the Indian consumers, to have your fried food with no guilt.
I know. I want to have my samosa and I want to be happy.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
manufacturing in a local facility like this, how does it strengthen your competitiveness in terms of cost, in terms of speed to market, in terms of innovation for a consumer in India?
See, we believe in Make in India, and it is. We don't say it for the sake of saying, but when you are manufacturing locally, you can cater to the spike in terms of demand. Okay, you can actually look at products and say, how do you integrate some of the local nuances to that, because you are manufacturing here.
Yeah.
And third, that is more efficient, because you save a lot of cost as far as transportation is concerned,
Yes.
insurance is concerned, and all everything. So, you know, three things. One, you become closer to the consumer, because whatever you learn from the consumer, you are able to incorporate because you are manufacturing locally. Second, it helps you, adjust your production basis the demand. Third, it makes you more efficient. And fourth, of course, it makes you proud that we are structurally growing manufacturing in India. So it actually ticks all the boxes.
So it's amazing. This product is designed exactly for the Indian consumer, what they want, how they want it. That's fabulous to hear. But let's also understand, you're having a local manufacturing facility right here. So how does this fit into your larger, how does this plant fit into your larger global manufacturing strategy?
See, before we go to global, I just want to emphasize on one more point locally also. If you look into it,
Hmm?
Preeti is a very loved brand in, Tamil Nadu
Oh,
and
yes.
most of the south. You know,
Preeti can non guarantee.
yeah, correct. So it's your guarantee, it's not my guarantee, right? Now, this local manufacturing facility, what it does is, it helps us innovate.
Right.
Now, how it innovates is, people used to think a mixer grinder can do this much,
Right.
and then this local manufacturing facility helps us innovate with Zodiac, which is mixer grinder plus plus. So it not only does the mixer grinding bit of it, but it helps you dough the atta, knead the atta, cutting, slicing, and everything. So, end of the day, this is how a local capacity or manufacturing facility can help you cater to the local demand.
Right.
At the same time, as I said, we have developed an expertise as far as motors are concerned. Now, these motors can also be exported, because these are universal motors. And currently, we are trying to expand this facility and get deeper into the domestic demand, but we are also making it world class quality, so that tomorrow we can export from here.
Right.
That's the idea. But for us, Indian consumer is first. So we want to go deeper and cater to the demand for the local consumers, and do it at a world class quality level, so that tomorrow we can export without any hesitation or without any further requirement.
Fabulous. Let's also talk about the kind of product categories one can expect from this, manufacturing facility, and also are there going to be further production expansion plans? How does that look for you?
See, I am in this industry for like I joined consumer durables in 2001. So
Right.
I've spent 25 years in this industry, and I can tell you, no kitchen can run without a mixer grinder. So the promise from our side, from this facility, is that we will keep innovating in mixer grinders. Okay, so we will bring more and more innovations into mixer grinders through this facility. That's one commitment. Second, we are also looking at how do we expand, the portfolio for this factory. So we are currently also doing gas stoves here. Okay, and then we are looking at a lot of backward integration. And why backward integration is important? Because it gives you a control over the quality, especially the components which are critical to any of the appliance. If you do it in your own factory and it is backward integrated, then it gives you a lot more confidence in terms of, how do you make a promise to the consumer in terms of the quality, the life, and the performance of the product. So from an category point of view, this plant would be focused on kitchen appliances.
Right.
But from an backward integration point of view, this plant would be doing a lot of backward integration for larger home appliances also.
Wow. Oh, that's fabulous. But today's consumers not like before. They're demanding. They want it to be intelligent. They want it to be smart, energy efficient. They have all these requirements when it comes to their products. So, how is this manufacturing facility driving that innovation, and how is it doing it?
See, we will just go and see one of the facilities right now.
Hmm.
See, one of the things you said is today's consumer is smart, it's aspirational.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
One of the aspirational things is aesthetics. Okay,
yeah,
kitchens are open,
yeah,
right? Now, products are not hidden,
yeah,
they are visible,
yeah.
correct? Now, they have to look good. They have
Yes.
to look good.
On that Instagram reel, it's now gender neutral. Men and women are using the kitchen.
Correct. So the whole idea is that we do plastic injection molding in this facility.
Hmm.
Okay, so that we are able to provide aesthetically superior products to the consumers.
Right.
Okay, same mixer grinder will look even more, I would say, attractive. So even today it is attractive, but it will look more and more attractive. This is how this plant contributes. Okay, at the same time, if you look into this plant, most of the processes
Hmm.
are automated,
Hmm.
and we use uh, you know not robots, but
Hmm.
special machines, which takes away the manual intervention as much as possible.
Hmm.
Now what it does is it gives you the confirmation as far as the quality of the product is concerned.
Right.
Okay, so that's second, because the consumer, as you said, is very smart.
Yeah.
They can very very well feel what you are saying and what you are offering. And
Hmm.
third, most of this plant is the production is IoT monitored. Okay,
Right.
now that helps us integrate digital to some of the products. Okay,
Right.
now this is an era where consumers are looking at saying, okay, even on a mixer grinder,
Mm.
can I have a digital interface?
Why not?
Okay, and that's what this plant is helping us. And that is why, looking at how the consumers are evolving, what they want, what are the different choices, how they are interacting with the product also,
Yeah.
this plant is really helping us deliver that.
Okay.
Okay, and it is, again, I would say, it is because most of it is automated, and then it is also because we help, with the help of this plant, what we have been able to do is to experiment with a lot of choices that we have.
Wow. Okay. So it's amazing. So this is how you are leveraging your facility,
Yes.
right, to drive innovation. That's fabulous to hear. But you're here in Tamil Nadu. So how is this facility going to impact whether it's employment, whether it is the supply ecosystem, the manufacturing ecosystem? So how is this
See,
plant
we are
impacting on that?
just entering into this expansion.
Yes.
Like few years back, the plant was limited to this,
Yes.
so
Okay.
this has been expanded, right? So you know now it is a 12,000 square meter plant. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that is how it is helping generate more and more employment for the local people here. Now, today we inaugurated the motor facility for air fryers.
Mm-hmm.
Now that facility alone will give minimum 100 full-time jobs. minimum 100.
Okay.
And we are very conservative in terms of numbers, so we always want to be sure about it.
Yeah.
So that is, so the whole endeavor is like technology and human skill. How do we bring this together? Because technology is to enable human, it's not to eradicate humans, right? Humans are required to even manage technology bit of it. So
Yep.
like if you will see, we are just entering to the plastic molding section of it, and we will be covering in a while. Now this is helping us do the aesthetics bit of it,
Right.
but this is also generating a lot of employment, because on machines you need people
Yes.
to manage this machine, and this is how we have been contributing towards the manufacturing footprint of not only India but to Tamil Nadu.
That's fabulous to hear. But one thing that, as a country, something that we're all working towards is sustainability, is being environmentally conscious. So do tell me about, all the measures that are in place in terms of enabling sustainability.
No, I think very important, and sustainability. You know, for you and me also as citizens of India or citizens of this world,
Yes.
it's very important. Now, just to give you an example, this plant we use 80% green energy. So we have a solar plant here in this plant also, and when we buy energy also, it is solar energy. So 80% of the energy used in this plant is green energy. It's the solar energy. So we are very clear wherever possible. Uh, we are very cautious of all the sustainability norms that we need to adhere on.
Fabulous to hear. Right. Thank you so very much, Mr. Gulbahar. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and yeah, wishing you and your team all the very best. Thank you so very much.
No, thank you very much for coming over, giving us this opportunity to share with you what we are doing here in this plant, not only for the consumers of Tamil Nadu, but for the consumers of India.
Yes.
And, what do we have in store for future. So thank you very much for covering it, and, being here. It was absolute pleasure.
Likewise, thank you so very much, Mr. Gulbahar Taurani. Thank you.
Thank you.